Hello and welcome to this tutorial on Fusion 360. Today we're going to have a go at drawing a juicy Salif like the one on the screen in front of us. So first thing I need to do is create a new design and save my new design and start my sketch. So the top of the body, we're going to create a loft and we're going to create a segmented loft. So we'll attach the segments to each other to create the body. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is create the cross-sectional profile of the top body. So a line from the origin going vertically 18.5 millimeters. I'm going to make that 18.5 into a construction line, then draw a circle on the end, 8 millimeters in diameter. Okay, now we don't need two more lines, construction lines again, going from the origin out to the sides. And we'll constrain the angle to 15 millimeters, 15 degrees. And we'll change the length of those lines to 19.5. I've just dimensioned it wrong. There we go. Same on this side. And then we're going to draw a circle on the end now that intersects there and there. That doesn't look symmetrical. Okay, it's not attached at the end there. So I'm just going to delete this bit and do that again. There we go. It's fixed this time. And then those two circles are construction lines at the moment, and I don't want them to be construction lines. So there we go. And then I'm going to draw lines from the origin again to the outside of the circles. And then we're going to use the trim tool to get rid of some parts here. So that's our cross-sectional profile of one of the segments of the top body. So finish sketch on that. And obviously this is going to be a loft now. So I'm going to draw a new sketch on an offset plane, which goes up vertically 35 millimeters. Okay. Then I'll sketch on this plane. And I'm going to put a small circle. The loft works a little bit better with a small circle than if I did it to a point. And then I'm going to press P on my keyboard to project these lines. Let's use the trim tool. So this sort of segment here is going to be the top sketch for the loft. So now we've got two sketches that we can connect to create the top part of the body, but we need one more sketch at the bottom. So it's again offset plane, and this time we're going to go down 105 millimeters. So minus 105. It's there. And then I'm going to project that, and that for the bottom sketch. Okay, and then I could try and loft these together, but I won't have enough control over the profile, so I'm going to add some rails to my loft. So create sketch, side profile. So first profile is just going to be a line going down this green line here through the origin. Tick. Finish sketch. New sketch on the same plane. And this time I'm just going to use the P again to project that line so I can get a little node there to attach a fit point spline to in a moment. Project that line. And that line. Okay. And now fit point spline. So rails have to touch the outer line of the sketch of the profile. It can't be in the center, it can't be outside, it has to touch it. So that's why I wanted to project that geometry. And we'll adjust this in a moment to be the exact shape that I want. So the more times you click, the more nodes you get for adjusting the shape, which sometimes can help you control it, but also can often make it more difficult. So I prefer to have less nodes on a simple form like this. So I can adjust this one. And that looks about right. So finish sketch. So we're going to try the loft now. It doesn't always work first time, so let's see what happens. Create loft. So that top profile there, middle profile, bottom profile. So we've got our 3 profiles selected. And the form's not quite right here. It doesn't come out at the top and it sticks out too far here. So we're going to attach a rail. So that one. We want operation new body, click OK. And there we have it, 1 segment for the top section. Now, on the outside of this, we don't have a flat surface because of the way the loft works. It gives you a complex curved surface. So if I wanted to create a sketch, I can't sketch onto that surface. I don't need to, but it just shows that it's not flat. So what I'm going to do now is cut it. So I'm going to do an extrude to cut to make it flat. So I've got a perfect segment. So I'm going to draw a line, a construction line down the center. And then a normal line again from the origin out to the side. Then I'm going to constrain the angle to 15. And then the same on the other side. So when I remove this material here, we'll end up with a 30-degree segment here. So when we make a pattern out of this segment, it'll be 12 segments, so 360 degrees. So close boundary, home view. So I could have done the sketch up here on the top profile, on the top plane, the offset plane that I did, but I've done it in the middle, which is fine. So all I need to do is change the direction to 2 sides and then pull these handles so it cuts away all that material and gives me flat surfaces. Okay. So it's kind of missed this part here. So I could go back and adapt that rail to adjust it and try and include that there. In fact, I'll try that now. So it was that sketch, sketch 5. No, it's not making too much of a difference there. I could play around with that for a bit longer to try and get rid of that, but I don't think it's going to be a huge problem. So continue forward. So create pattern, circular pattern. We're going to, object type will be body, so we'll select that body, select the axis, which should be this one, and quantity will be 12. Okay, so we've got 12 bodies now, and that's the form for the top of our juicy Salif. At the minute, we'll have 12 bodies here, and it just gets a bit messy, so I'm going to use the combine tool to combine all of these segments into one body. Okay. Oh dear, there we go. So body 6 is this body here. I'm going to turn my sketches off. I'm going to rename the body top. Save that. Okay, so that's the top part done. We're now going to move on to drawing the legs, but we'll again draw one leg and then do a repeat pattern around the central axis to create the 3 legs. We're going to use loft again. I've done this leg with an extrusion and it doesn't quite get the form the same as the Juicy Salif. I've got one here and I've had the calipers on it to measure it, and I think this works out a slightly better way of drawing it. So first thing we can do is sketch on the side profile to work out exactly where the height needs to be. So from there, we're going to go down 150 millimeters. And then from the bottom, we need to go out 67. There we go. And make both of those lines construction lines. I've 3D printed this model, and the dimensions compared to the actual finished Juicy Salif are pretty much spot on in terms of height, size, width, and so on. So if you work with these dimensions, you can't go far wrong. So now we're going to create a loft to create the bottom part of the leg, so from there to there. Then we'll do a second loft from there to there and combine them and repeat them around. So I need a new plane. So finish this sketch, offset plane. I'm going to offset it from the bottom, and at the minute I've got a flat bottom, and it's going to be 150 millimeters down. So I can now sketch onto there, and just like before, go out to the side, 67 millimeters. I'll make that a construction line. I'm going to draw another line now. It's going to be 3.5 millimeters from that end. 3.5. And we'll draw a circle here, 3 millimeters in diameter. No, 6, sorry. Didn't think that looked right. 6, there we go. A line from here to here. And we can trim that bit there. So that's our boundary, our closed boundary for the bottom sketch on the loft. Can't see it because I've got my sketches turned off. There it is. So now I need to create a new sketch plane somewhere here. So I'm going to draw on side profile. I'm going to draw a line through the outside of the body, sort of in line with it. This bit's a bit of an estimate. Offset a line from there, 15 millimeters. Do I need to go the other way? Nope. Cancel that. There we go, 15 millimeters. Finish sketch. And then I can do this plane at an angle. So it's the second one down in this setup here. Change the angle to 90 degrees. So we've got a plane now that runs at an angle through that sketch. So I can now sketch my top sketch. So I'm going to the side profile. It says front here, but I'm looking at the side. And we can start to create a sketch now for this loft, for the bottom portion of the leg. So the sketch needs to be 40 millimeters up from the bottom of the body. So it's not attaching to there, so I might project that point. There we go. Still not attaching. There we go. Okay, so 40 millimeters up. There it is. And then I need to draw another line, construction line, 20 millimeters. This is the height of this sketch. And then we can go out from the side 3.7. 3.7. Okay, and I'm going to use a fit point spline to draw one part of this profile. It's not quite right, but we can adjust it now. So it's kind of smoother at the top, and it's got a ridge at the bottom, but not quite that pointy a ridge. So let's pull this down. And then I can mirror that. So select that line, mirror line. Okay. So I've got my two closed boundaries now. I think that's a closed boundary. Yep. But if I was to loft from there to there, it wouldn't quite work. So I've done that sketch on the wrong side. I'm just trying to fix a mistake. There we go. I'm only going to use this one. But now I can loft from here to the profile I've just drawn up here. It won't be quite right. I'm going to have to put a rail on this sketch, on this loft. So from there, okay. So if I draw a line from the center of this one, 90 degrees to the side, 8 millimeters. I can then do a 3-point arc through those new points. Did that wrong. There we go. So that line will be the rail for my loft, and it should work. So let's loft this sketch to the top sketch and use that rail there. So 1, 2, rail. I think it's automatically selected that rail actually. Yep. Okay. Okay, so that's the bottom portion of the leg drawn there. So we just need to draw the top portion, and then we can repeat that around the center. We don't need to redraw this sketch. That's there. So we just need another sketch that's in the body of the top part. So to do that, I'm going to reopen this sketch. I think it's that one. Yep. Offset from that line. And this time it's going to be 4 millimeters. -4. There we go. Finish that. Plane at an angle, and we'll draw through that line again, 90 degrees, and we'll sketch onto this new plane. So, just going to turn that off. There we go. And to draw a line up from the bottom, 30 millimeters this time. Yep. I'll turn that off so I can see what I'm doing. And then from there, also up, we're going for 12 millimeters. From the center, which is there. We're going out to the side 3. Use the fit point spline again. And as previously, it's a bit pointier on the bottom and rounder at the top. Drag these about a bit. More like it. Mirror that line. That's my mirror line. Okay. Finish sketch. Okay, so I'm going to turn that body 13 back on. I'm going to try and loft from there to there. So that face to this sketch. I want to select all the different parts of it. I'm not going to use a rail this time. It's relatively straight. So there it is. Use my combine tool again to connect. Oh, it's done it for me. When I did that loft, I must have, join. Okay, cool. So that's one leg done. I could use the fillet tool now to wrap around this edge. It's a little bit round on the juicy Salif. 1 millimeter. There we go. Turn the top body on. Create. Pattern. Circular pattern. I select that body. Select that axis 3 times. And there we have it. So I could again combine those parts. Once I've done that, I can use my fillet tool on these edges to round them over. There we have it. That's the juicy Salif drawn to scale, ready to go. You can 3D print that file now if you wanted to export it as an STL, and it would be just about right for your actual drawing. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.